All right. So good to have you all on the call this morning. Welcome back from the weekend. And hopefully, as we cover the topic this morning, topic on how to handle objections, a very key skill that is required. I think it's a life skill because I believe many of us at one point are going to be putting across an idea, a thought, and it will be hit by some form of, rejection. The way you handle that situation is exactly what is going to help you win the other person over eventually. And I think over the years, this is something that we continuously share and teach different people. For those that are on the call for the very first time, I'd like to welcome you. We usually do these calls every morning, 6 a.m. to 6:30. We do have an English call at 6:35. We have a Uganda call as well. I think that you're interested. However, the purpose of our sharing every morning keep many of us as distributors abreast with the different skills, the knowledge that we need for our Neolife business. So every Monday we talk about business skills. Then Tuesdays we get into products. We cover a product area. Wednesdays we listen to some of the stories, computers. And then Thursday we have personal development. And then Friday we have special topics put together. Saturday morning we have a training, very, very convenient for people who are not yet used to the 6 a.m. That training happens 8:30 to 10. It has both products and business skills. On the Sunday evening, we have a presentation. So I hope for those that are on the call and you're listening in for the very first time, being able to get an idea of what we do. This morning, we're going to be handling objections, and let me see. Yes, what are objections? These are things that people usually ask you that try to, in fact, it's more like they're trying to clarify their doubts, That's how I look at it. It's not like they're bashing you or they're being negative. They're just saying, you know what? Do I really need this supplement? Can't I go and eat my carrots, my cabbages? And, honestly, they're right. I'm one of those people that had a lot of questions at the start of this business. In fact, if someone was prospecting me, and people that were prospecting me were very patient and were able to handle my objections, but I had a lot of questions. And I didn't even ask once. I asked in the first meeting, I asked in the second meeting and third meeting Janet, was with the cousin of ours. And we just kept on, I just kept on asking these questions and that question and this question. And luckily enough, she was patient enough to listen through and be able to answer. But eventually, of course, at the back of your mind, you very well know that not all the questions will be answered sufficiently or to their satisfaction in that one meeting. Some of the questions need exposure. They need someone to see a bigger picture. All right. So when someone asks me, do these products have side effects? I'll definitely say no, but then I'll have to give a number of testimonies of people who have used the products over the years, who continue to use them to this day. And sometimes that may not come from me in particular. It may have to come from someone else where that person is in a space where that person is able to see those other people. So please note, some objections and recently asked business objections may require quite a bit of exposure. So what are some of the questions people usually ask? This is a very common one, so I will be having today. This business is a pyramid, it's a scam. Now, Even this one, people don't even ask. You just feel it. Just feel it. It's a common. That's why sometimes when you are starting on a one-on-one, and then you tell someone, and it's called Neolife. It's good for you to ask the question: have you actually come across Neolife? We've been able to, and once the person says yes, please do not fear. Just ask, so what, what do you know about your life? What were you able to experience with your life? And sometimes, according to the reaction, you could tell by the look, the body language, that someone has their issues, and they have their questions, and they have their thoughts, their narrative. They've gotten their perception as far as the business is concerned. That's why, as business people, and more so on the sales and distribution side of Neolife, you have to be someone who is very, very intentional about reading people's body language. Sometimes if you're talking to someone and their arms are crossed, you might want to begin with this question. You might want to answer this question before they even ask you. This business is a pyramid, it's a scam. Sometimes you'll get people like this. And sometimes this now also comes in at a point where um, as you're talking and as you're talking about the business, like, that the statements people will make that will make you appreciate that they are actually presenting that objection. Where they're saying you have to get in the beginning to make money, and if someone says like, I should have gotten in at that time, then they have misunderstood the whole thing, because it's not about who gets in the beginning, it's about who is getting people to use the products. Right now, and I'll be ending with the populations of the different countries. Many people out there have not yet come across the D1 laundry, the LDC. People need to use these products, and the more people that come to use these products, the more the company is going to pay you. So whether you started in 1996, 1973, like Charlie, or 1983, like Mike, or 2005, like Andrew and Janet, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what is important is how many people have you actually been able to cause to use these products? Because the more people that come to use these products because of you, and the more volumes that go out because of you, irrespective of which time and which place, which year you get started, that is what's going to cause you to have a good business. Another question that people usually make, it is the people at the top making all the money. That's also another objection. And I'll tell you that many of these objections, people don't say them, they imply them. And you have to, it's something you get with time, but you have to be alive to that fact that people will not tell you this. They will say it. And by the way, it is not even don't see it as a challenge per se. Don't see it as an issue, because perhaps that's how most of us got started. This is a question that lingered in my mind for some time when I got started in this Neolife business. It was there. I was like, yeah, but maybe it is those guys. I remember coming in for the weekend function, and I was telling the late David Ebong, when it was announced that it is this world team members that are going for dinner with Charlie Bolton, I was asking him, but you, and this guy know that we are very passionate about this thing, that we are the ones with the heart for this thing. Why is it taking the ones who already are convinced and are building and are making money out of this thing? So probably it's also a question that still lingers among the people that are also already distributors. You'll find things like you are working for your upline. Okay, that's another very, very common business objection. And well, it's like I've said, for me, when I got started in the business, at a certain point in the business, I had someone who had sponsored, and that was the late David Ebong, who was earning about 4 or 5 times more than I was earning, and I was the upline. And it's simply because he had built a bigger market than me. So even if his PV was counted on me, but the company and the marketing plan worked in a way that it ensures that the payout is fair in accordance to the work that one has done. that if someone has brought in, say, a volume of products worth 30 million shillings, and you've brought in a volume of products worth 2 million shillings, you're definitely not going to earn the same amount of money as the other person has brought in a volume of products worth 30 million shillings, even if that person is in your team. You have to either equate to the same or have a well-balanced structure, as we usually talk about it. So the aspect of working for your plan is something that has also lingers among a lot of among us and in our minds, and also for the prospects that we're trying to get into the business. You are actually building your business, and me, my principle has always been thank the person who invited you, and go ahead and focus on the people that want to grow within your team, the people that are ready to appreciate your time. Because every time you invest your time in another individual, in your team especially, you're like investing your life. And you're going to equip this person with skills and knowledge. And you're going to work with this person to see that you grow the number of people that are using the products in their business. And of course, the more that happens, the more they earn, the more you're also going to earn. And I mean, it's literally the other way around. It is the upline working for you, that you actually create a business that is going to work for you. Is a business professional and ethical? It's another very common question that you'll find around, where people are asking, well, is this thing legit? It's still something that you'll also see among the different people, and you don't really, I mean, you have to understand that the nature of business that we've been doing, which is network marketing, has been around for almost about, say, even almost as long as Neolife, about 70 years now. 70 years now. And it's something that people are still just getting themselves acquainted with. And perhaps they don't probably see it as something that is professional. But you have to go back and understand and help people appreciate what do we mean by something that is ethical, something that is genuine, that is has integrity with it, and when someone talks about something that is professional, that's probably something that is professional is something that someone can actually do and be able to earn an income out of it. And it's true. And Neolife business is indeed a professional and ethical of business. Why? Because we do have problems that we are solving out there. We have issues of health, we have issues of water retention in as far as farming is concerned. We have issues to do with organic skincare and a clean environment, making sure that we are getting rid of all the toxins. These are all ethical and professional problems that we can be able to solve using our Neolife business. So things that are professional and ethical are usually things that require that have to do with probably solving a real issue, within society. And that's why probably when you look around at the engineers, the lawyers, when you look at the accountants, you look at the IT people, you look at the doctors, all these are professionals trying to solve a particular problem. And well, Neolife also does fall in that particular category. I tried it before and it did not work. Yes, you'll also hear that quite a lot. Usually the engagement is that you get into the questions. What did you do? What were you doing? Perhaps you weren't guided properly. Did you do the basics? And usually I like to actually ask more about the basics when someone is presented to me with that kind of objection. So what products did you use is what I would ask. What products did you use? Tell me more. When you did start, did you eventually make a name list? You're going through the critical skills that someone needed to have made. And I tried with this one, I tried with that one, and they were all saying, no. They were asking me a lot of questions. You see, you actually did not get through some of the principles that are required to run a business, because every single business will actually have things that we have to do that are in line with what we do in your life. If you wake up in one morning and you set up a furniture store, guess what? You have to go through the same principles that you go through as you build the Neolife business. So you'll end up trying each and every business, from the petrol station to the supermarket to farming and you'll always be saying, I tried it before and it did not work, because you are not patient enough to go through the requirements an entrepreneur needs, a business person needs, to make sure that they are actually going to make something work. Yeah. So A number of these things, again, people will ask you all a number of those questions, and you'll have to get, I cannot sell. Do I need sales experience? And usually, again, this is something that will come from people who perhaps feel shy, or they have not had any exposure in as far as sales. First of all, you need to change the attitude around around the aspect of sales. I think that's one thing that when I got started in the business, that I thank God, the people I found in the business. Why? But I think it was Mr. Kanakia who said it. That, you know what? Whether you like it or not, if you eventually want to become wealthy, you have to cross over to the selling side. You cannot be buying all the time. You cannot be the person that is buying, buying, buying. If you are only buying, 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 and there's nothing you are offering to the society, the community, something that you're selling, guess what? Do not expect to become wealthy or to be financially free just out of buying. If you're going to just sell your skill as a profession at your job, and there's nothing you're selling as a good or a product or a service, eventually you're not going to become financially free, because the people that are financially free in this world are people that are actually selling something. The people that are rich when you go to Serena are not the ones that are having the dinner. They're the ones that are actually supplying Serena. So that kind of mindset for me got me changing the aspect I have about sales. Then I go on and explain the fact that in our business, we actually sell out of experience. And that is something that everybody does. You are actually selling every single day when you go out there and you tell people to use a product, use a service that you yourself you have used. And that's why it's important that when we do get started in Neolife, we actually make time, we do take time to ensure that we teach people how to use the product, because it's when they have used the product that it now becomes easier for them to share the experience and get other people to use the products. And that is how the selling process happens in your life. It happens out of our personal use of products, because then it's easier for you to share your product experience with others. And then sometimes people may have the connotation that, selling means I have to go talking to each and every single person meet. Maybe it's door to door, maybe it is house to house. And you need also to help them appreciate that, we actually make a name list. And then once we have made that name list, then we begin to set appointments. And then we have these 30 minutes appointments where we are telling people about what solutions we have to offer as Neolife. And as clear as a cup of tea, sharing your product experience and what Neolife products have been able to do for you. Okay. And with some of those things, perhaps you could be able to help someone deal with some of those things. Sometimes you have this objective: I don't have the time, I don't have the money. That's a very oftentimes common objection. I don't have the time, I don't have the money. I think it's an objection I'll hear from a lot of professionals. Yeah. You again have to bring it down to the fact that at the end of the day, they have to put a little bit of time. That's very key. The time objection will come a lot from the professionals. And you need to just explain that you need to put aside 30 minutes or an hour a day this business to work. And if they did this for the next couple of months, about 8 months, you can guarantee them that they will earn 2 million shillings. And indeed, that's what happens. And I'll tell you to this day, if you are a professional and you're not yet seeing the money in this business, it's because you don't put aside the time. And some days go by when you've not met anybody. But any professional who is meeting someone new every single day, any person actually who is meeting someone new, you should be in this business full time. Set a goal of meeting 5 people every single day. You're doing it part time, you have some work you're doing, you're at a job, you're a very busy person. Put aside an hour a day. And it's as simple as that, because at the end of the day, you want to gain from this opportunity, you want to gain from the business, and you cannot gain from it unless you're putting aside some time. And the beauty about what we do in your life is that hour could be wasted anywhere. You could waste it in traffic jam. You're watching television, watching all the people make money. Those 90 minutes to spend watching Arsenal and Manchester could be put teaching someone about how Neolife solutions could be available for them when they start using the products. And what we're saying is you just help the person convert some of the wasted and free time they have into some productive time. And you're just looking for an hour in their day where they can actually be able to tell someone else about, and you need to explain that concept to them. The money issue will be found with a lot of the students. Like I was when I started, I didn't have money. Being a first year student, my father was not going to give me money to invest in Neolife. And I think not having money is actually an advantage. Why? Because then you are going to literally do the business by ensuring that you actually talk to people and you're not going to buy TV. You're going to actually make sure the products are moving. So I begin by making sure that, by the fact that the mere fact you don't have money, actually, that's why this business is the best for you, because a number of other businesses out there. There is no business that you will start with 240,000 or $100 for that matter, and you are going to make what, $500, 6-7 months down the road. Many businesses require huge investments. If it's a retail shop, if it's a restaurant, if it's a furniture shop, if it's if it is farming, even farming requires quite a bit of investment. If you're going to do your maize on quite a number of acres, even just on 1 acre, I think you need not less than an investment of about say 400,000-500,000, which is about say $100 to just get the maize thing moving, and that's even on a lower side. That's when you're the one who is going to be doing the digging and the weeding. If you're going to put people in that area and you're going to have them doing the digging and the weeding, then guess what? It might even go all the way up to about $200-$300, a million Uganda shillings, for you to invest in that farming project. Yeah. So there is hardly any business out there where you're going to use 240,000. Okay, let's say you also need data. How much would you need for data? Come in for the trainings. Let's say you're going to, and oftentimes you don't even need that much transport. If someone is talking about transport and things like that, because you begin with the people that are around you. The people that are around you are the very people that are going to give you the income, which is going to take you to further places, and that's what happened for many of us. I say this business right there at Makerere University within 1 year. I never ever thought that I'd be taking a bus or I'd be driving all the way up to Arua, all the way up to Lira. No, that's not how I didn't start by driving to Lira or taking a bus to Arua. I started with the people that were around me. The people around me introduced me to people that were much further from me. I would not have gotten to Dar es Salaam if I had not invited Alson or Dax, who was my hobby right here in Kampala. So again, you need to help them appreciate the concept that you don't have the money, then you definitely need this business, because this business is literally the lowest capital investment you'll ever find and come across that is going to get you benefit maximally from your investment. And then let me see. Looks like I should have just spent the whole time on one slide, but it's okay. What if the market gets saturated? Okay. What if the market gets saturated? That's another question that used to worry me, man. When you go like now, you're in Dar es Salaam, or even how you were in the last event at Imperial, where people were so many, and then you're thinking, okay, now what if everybody in the world does does Neolife? What if everybody? And I'll tell you something. That point will never come. Let me see if I can quickly go down to the population. I'm going to have to come back. This was all something I'm supposed to share with you, but of time. Let's look at the populations by country. First and foremost, every family needs to be using LDC. Look at South Africa, 9 million people. Look at Tanzania, 59 million people as well. Look at Kenya, 53 million people. Look at Uganda, 45 million people. And by the way, this is all your market. For everybody that is on the call this morning, don't think about even your country as the market. Your market is the entire Africa. Look at all these markets that are out there that are waiting for one person to start using these products. And then you have to empower that person, equip that person with leadership skills so that they can actually be able to get more people on board who are also using the products. The market can never get saturated. And never, by the time you have got into the 59 million people, okay, guess what? It will be 2,100. Oh, what will we be calling it then? If we shall all still be here. It will be 2,100. Are they saying now? That's it. It will be 2,100. I think that's what they'll be calling it. Okay. 2,100. By the time you get into just one country, you've got those 59 million people. This market, by the time Charlie Botton started in 1973. I think my mother was 13 years. Okay, my father could have been like what, 20 years. Okay, by the time Mike Van Better started, 1983, my father and mother were just meeting. By the time I was born, you know, Mike had just started the business. By the time I was in primary six, 1996, Sam and Miriam were just starting the business. You know, by the time I was at the university, there are people that were getting born who are now distributors in 2005, who are now distributors. So some of these myths and misconceptions of market saturation are actually, and even when you look back at what is being used right now, we have not even tapped into 0.05 of the percent of the population. Because when you look at the number of people that are using LDC, the number of people that are using G1 laundry, that's the people that are on 3NN. Man, people are still dozing day in, day out. You find people yawning. And I'm like, this guy has not yet heard about 3NN. He's yawning at 11 a.m. continuously. You're talking to him for 30 minutes and he's yawning like 10 times in those 30 minutes. And you're thinking, oh, this guy really needs a training. And there are very many people like that. So at the end of the day, when it comes to the issues of market saturation, they just need to understand how the mathematics plays out. By the time we actually reached out to 1 million people, many years, and we should be doing it a lot faster. We need to work and get more focused as distributors to see that we get more people using our products, get more people appreciating what we have to offer. We see more people every single day. Seeing 1 or 2 people is really the bare minimum. But for someone that is serious, that is actually focused, the one that is actually looking and making sure that we are actually doing the work of making this world a healthier and better place, needs to be at least seeing about 10 people every single day. You know, Husna and Hosseina were telling me how every single day they are in contact with about 200 people. 200 people on an individual basis come to know about Neolife from those 2 ladies every single day. Each one of them, about every single day, get to appreciate all that, get to appreciate what Neolife has to offer. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, just a quick one. Answering objectives requires that you seek to understand first in order for you to be understood. If you don't understand what Neolife is, if you don't understand what the products are, if you don't understand the importance of supplementing, guess what? You will not be able to help another person understand you as well. So we want to urge you to continue coming in for training to help you understand what you are actually involved in. Because it's a whole big time kind of concept. I took time to appreciate what supplementation is to me. And today when I look at my pile of products that I have to use every other day, guess what? It's because I've come to understand why we need to supplement. And unless people understand, guess what? They will not be able to understand you. Then the second thing is, it's not what someone tells you that matters. It is what you tell yourself after they have shut up. Those are 2 important statements that have been carrying me along. The second statement for me has done for me so much, because at a certain point in my life, people would ask me, so Andrew, are you sure as an engineer, you're busy selling soap? Are you sure about these things that you're discussing to me? You know, and at the end of the day, I go back and appreciate that I have to help myself as Andrew understand a lot more. That, you know, eventually the end game is to make money. The end game is to actually get people to use more products so that you can have more product users, so that more income is able to get in. And what am I working for? Yes, you want to become a lawyer, you want to become an engineer, you want to become a tax person, you want to be an accountant, you want to be a doctor. At the end of the day, you want to serve people so that you actually paid for your service. You're bringing value to the marketplace. You're bringing some value addition to the marketplace. Everybody has to bring value to the marketplace. Now, if I'm telling someone about nutrition and how they're going to live a longer, healthier life, am I bringing value? Yes. Is it putting money in my pocket? Yes. So whether you tell me whether it is professional, whether it is ethical, at the end of the day, what I have come to appreciate, I have understood that it is ethical and it's professional. That's why it's very important for you as a distributor to first of all appreciate not what other people tell you that matters. It is what you tell yourself that matters. If people come to you and they tell you the products are expensive, at the end of the day, if you go back and you sit with yourself and you also convince yourself that the products are expensive, then guess what? You're finished. Okay? Expensive compared to what? Your health. Okay, when you look at the cleaning products, are they actually expensive? Have you had to go down and do a cost comparison with other cleaning products? So please take those 2 statements into mind as you handle objections. Seek to understand first in order for you to be understood, and then it is not what X tells you that matters. It is what you tell yourself after X. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to stop here. Morning. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope it has been a very helpful session for you. We are very, very privileged to have you all on the call, and we pray that you will have a fantastic day. I'm looking to end the recording here.